Hello and welcome, my friends. TGIF, we made it through the first week of December. And here we go into the second. I won't lie, this week isn't going to be as much fun as last week. Sure, we're starting off with a new moon on Tuesday, which is fantastic. Love that new moon energy. Wednesday, Mercury's going into retrograde. At the height of a meteor shower, what could go wrong? Right? Oh, fantastic. I won't lie, Mercury in retrograde during the holidays, not the best present. It really will be a present that keeps on giving. All we can do is take it one step at a time. Know that we have probably about like a week and a half of a lot of retrogrades. It will start to diminish in the latter part of December. So Chiron is in retrograde till the 26th of December. Uranus and Mercury will be in retrograde for the for the rest of December. And Jupiter will be going direct on the 30th. So we have a couple coming out later in the latter part of the week or the month. However, we will have Uranus and Mercury going into the new year. Okay. Now, that's not the worst we've had this year. The summer was a lot worse. The majority of the universe was in retrograde. The challenge comes in is that we do have a lot of expectations, a lot of, sense of entitlement. People have very clear ideas, directives, and mandates that may and sometimes do conflict with ours, which adds in a lot of that turbulent, sometimes toxic energy that we need to be aware of. Now, because it kind of felt like an adventure, I do have the Arcanya Tarot that kind of reminds me of kind of the Dungeons and Dragons theme, like that adventure. Because let's be honest, it's gonna feel like almost like an adventure of some sort of weird role-playing game. And then I have, this is called the Hybrid Oracle. I've called it before the Loracle Oracle, but that's actually a different part that came with this deck. So we've got both of them. I thought we need that kind of mythology and, well, no fear adventure. All right, let's look at this week. What does the week of December 10th through the 16th bring, my friends? Okay, so the first card, wanted out, flipped over, Six of Stone, Six of Pentacles. That energy balance. We're going to have to be very, very mindful of where we're focusing our energies, because there's only so much time in the day. There's almost so much energy that we do have. There's only so much we can accomplish. We're going to have to be very mindful of that, because we will easily topple ourselves if we're trying to deal with too much all at once. And here we have the Six of Rain with the Six of Cups. It's that reminiscing card. The Ash of Wind, or not the Ash of Wind, the Ace of Wind, the Ace of Swords. Oh, there's the Ash. The Ten of Ash. The Ten of Wands in reversal. Okay, along with that energy balance, because let's be honest, it's a thing we've known about for a while. We've been dealing with it for months. We also need to be very mindful in the fact that, well, things are going to trigger us. We already feel overwhelmed. The Ten of Ash or the Ten of Wands talks about that exhaustion, that burnout. No matter how much we may say we're fine, we're really not. It goes back to that energy piece. We need to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to get stuck with the would-haves, the could-haves, or the should-haves, or what's worse, the what-ifs, we need to make sure that we are in the present, that we're using our head. Because like I said, there's going to be a lot of energies, and not all of them are positive. I've talked a lot about the negative ones, but there are positive ones because, let's be honest, the excitement and enthusiasm of small children, it's infectious right now. However, most of us are so overwhelmed and burnt out that we're not embracing that piece. And that would go a long way in fueling us, in bringing in that stability and that balance that we need so much. And as for balance, we do have the 6 of stones and the 6 of rain side by side. When we have that multiple 6, the angels are asking you to quiet your mind and balance yourself between your physical and your spiritual self. What's more, bringing in that balance, bringing in that pause and that honesty. We need to use our head, our third eye thinking center. The more we're able to stay and maintain in control of self, the more we're going to make positive choices for ourselves. We're going to be able to grab hold of the information rather than the vibration, or like the low vibration or heavy energies. We're going to be able to look outside that box, think outside that box, be able to process on a different level, because we're not getting caught up in the emotion or the reactivity. We're remembering to breathe. We're remembering that, hey, we're getting a lot more information than what we're giving ourselves credit for. Take that breath and focus in on that third eye information, because that third eye thinking center will bring in a lot of information. However, we need to stay in control of self. We can't get those ahas if we are losing our mind and reacting to things, because it's easy to do. It's happened in the past. It'll happen in the future. However, the more that we are able to, have that honesty, use that sensory input. How are you feeling? What would help? What boundaries do we need to put into place? Again, that balance. What has worked in the past? What hasn't worked? Using your head, asking those questions. And when I say ask those questions, I don't mean get critical of self or hypercritical or overcritical. Just ask questions. And if that negativity is coming in, I want you to stop. You don't need to beat yourself up more. We already feel we're feeling that burn. We don't need any more of it. Take that breath, because again, we're not using our third eye thinking center. We're starting to be reactive. We need to stay in that very balanced energy, in that frontal cortex. It's not about emotion, blaming or shaming. It's about that information. What's actually happening. All right, let's look at what else will help. Because, let's be honest, not our first rodeo when it comes to Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in retrograde during the holidays. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Does it suck? Sure. However, we can't control that external piece. So what are we going to do in the meantime? How are you going to move yourself forward? Because dwelling on it will only aggravate and amplify these two overturned cards, which we really don't need. It's not going to serve us. It's not going to help us. Egyptian catfolk. Games, society, and secrets. Honestly, with those rainbow wings, what's really coming forward to me is the games. Connected in some way, I would have thought, with Bastet, the Egyptian goddess of the cat, who was of home and hearth. We need that warmth. We need that connection. And like I said, that playful energy, that's all around us. Whether you have children or not. You walk out the door, and many of us are within blocks of giggling children because they're out playing, whether it be in the snow or at the park or what have you. There's kids around, and there's big kids around who are enjoying, whether it be lights, the snow, the season. We need that. And that's the energy I'm getting from that card. Faye, I'm going to say Draconina, Gateway, Beginning, and Group. Very much connected into that, well, those new beginnings, those new ahas that are coming in. Again, we have a lot of beautiful color here. That color is going to really be a game changer. Look for those rainbows. Look for that vibrancy. Because what we're seeking out, what we're surrounding ourselves with, how we feel on the inside will impact our week, will impact our life. River, Dead and Devourer. Honestly, a lot of us are going to feel like that we're the Walking Dead. However, it kind of reminds me of the Death card with that release. The river, that water, and the Devourer. We're not going to be able to keep holding what we want or what we are holding on to and focus on what we want to focus in on. We do need that release. Without that release, we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to get stuck. And then it's going to, we're really going to feel like the Walking Dead. We can't embrace the rainbows while dwelling on feeling overwhelmed and burnt out, getting stuck in the past, having those swirly thoughts. It's a this or a that, not can do at the same time. Your body, mind, and soul will not cope with that. It will just get stuck in the low because it's easier to connect with than the high. All right, let's look at what further information and guidance that we can share with my friends for the week of December 10th through the 16th. Oh, card on the floor. Okay, so we're going to start. I don't think this card flipped around, and anytime I have a card that flips around, because it did flip to the floor, and it was kind of on a sideways gate, I guess, slant, I put it in the upright. The Star, 17th card in the Major Arcana. We need to look up. We need to take those blinders off, and we need to be present and aware of what's happening. This is a very balanced card. This is a card of creativity, of stability. All are going to be needed as we go forward. Is it about our hopes and dreams? Sort of. When we look up rather than down with those blinders on, we're able to gain more aha, which will help us move forward rather than getting stuck. And this would be the Devil card, the 15th card in the Major Arcana. It is in reversal. We will be challenging that lower vibrational self. And let's be honest, our lower vibrational self will not be happy with this. This is not what we want. Our lower vibrational self will pick up on the reactivity and the volatility of others and try and amplify it on you. Be aware of some of those tricks. We do want some of that reflection here because, again, this is not our first rodeo at this. We need to make sure that we are feeling confident and in control of self, or else we are going to fall into this pit. And we're going to be very reactive. We're going to be very sick and burnt out. The Messenger of Stone, or the Page of Stone. That stability is going to matter. This is the Page of Pentacles. That grounded, stable energy will give us more of an ability to breathe, more of ability to start to think, bring in those tools, ask the questions. Again, we have that inquisical energy here. This week is not going to be a week that cookie cutter experience is going to work. We need to ask that question, push those boundaries of self, because again, that box doesn't fit us anymore. The Five of Rain, this of course is the Five of Cups. This is the card that has the person who is mourning the 3 overturned cups, and there's 2 cups behind them and they're ignoring it. Be mindful of the energies of what's happening and where our energies are focused, because what we focus on is what we're going to amplify. So if we're focused in on those 3 overturned cups, well, we're going to have some challenge. If we take that breath and focus in on the 2 upright cups, again, a very different outcome. We need to stay in control of self. We need to be present, checking in. What's happening? What do we need to do to help ourselves go forward? And the card that I'm flipping around is the 3 of Wind, or the 3 of Swords. That heartache and pain. I know this doesn't look like a heartache or pain card, but 3 of Wind. Wind is connected to the sword, just as the rain is connected to the cup. That pain is going to be there. We will be triggered. We'll be triggered by experience, by words said, words perceived, technology that goes down, and hopes and dreams that we had once had or we perceive that should be is going to come forward. This is what's going to make it really hard to focus in on those 2 overturned or 2 upright cups rather than the overturned cups. It's going to really add on to that 10 of Ash, where we're looking at that overwhelmed, exhausted energy. This adds the pain and the heartache. Please be aware of this. If this is happening, you need to take control. Use your tools. Things that can help. Of course, I have that meditation I brought out a couple weeks ago with Arcanya Tarot that we're looking at releasing this. Things like labradorite. It will help with that grounding. It'll help with that protection. And it will help with that release. So use what you have at hand. Don't allow these lower vibrational aspects to derail you. It'll take away from this week, and honestly, it'll make us feel really physically sick, which is only going to compound the challenges that we're going to face next week and the weeks to come. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today. I hope that this exploration into this week helped you to gain a better understanding of what you can expect and how you can go forward. If you did like this session, please remember to give it a thumbs up, as it does help people find me on the sea of YouTube. More importantly for you, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little red bell, as I have so much more coming forward. And if you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Ko-fi and Patreon page. I provided links below. Again, I want to thank you for joining me this week and exploring this second week in December. Until tomorrow, my friends.